Hello and welcome back on my channel for my TBR of October. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Cici and I do mostly Booker subscription box unboxings, but I do sometimes try to branch out into the typical other bookish stuff like TBRs, wrap-ups, etc. And before I start with my TBR, I just wanted to ask you real quick how you guys like to see wrap-ups, because I've been filming my wrap-ups right after reading the book, after most of the books this year, but I had a really hard time editing it in a way that I liked because because of my traveling schedule, for those of you who don't know, for my job I travel about 50% of my time, so it sometimes gets really hard to get editing and get everything done on time. So I would love to do like weekly reading vlogs combined with my my life, just for me as a diary, but I know that I couldn't post them at all in time because sometimes I'm gone for a couple of weeks. Just next week I'm going to be going to London for 10 days, and there's no way for me to then, for example, edit on a Sunday because I'm going to be staying in a hotel, etc. And I just don't have the equipment to take with me. All right, so stop the rambling. Anyways, so what I do is I take my phone or my vlogging camera or whatever, and I just tape my thoughts right after reading the book. And what I did last year, in the beginning of the year, I posted a couple of wrap-ups with what I read during the month, and it was edited in a way that this was what I read in the month, and I wanted to do it by ranking, etc. Anyways, I now am looking at several months worth of footage of my thoughts, and I know that a couple of you have posted under my unboxings, hey, looking forward to hear your thoughts. And I'm assuming this is just not just a phrase that you've been saying, that you're actually interested. So now my question to you is, would you mind if it's completely chaotically uploaded? So for example, what I could do is always cluster 10 of my wrap-ups, so to speak, from the past year, no matter about when I actually read them, but just so that they get posted and shared with you guys. Or do you need it to be related to the TBR? Are you more interested in the stats, my reading stats for the month? Because I do the reading stats because I'm a total nerd like this. I totally love having the stats. I just don't get to filming it in the way that I would love to right now. So maybe that changes next year when I'm a little bit more used to this new job, maybe when I have different equipment that I can take with me to edit when I'm in a hotel room. But as of right now, it's not really working for me. So please let me know, how do you like wrap-ups? What do you like about wrap-ups? And what would be your preferred way of seeing mine? All right, let's get into the TBR. I'm just gonna move over a little because as for the whole year, you can see my TBR behind me. Let me just move this lamp. Oh, this is so dangerous what I'm doing right now. I didn't burn myself, I just showed you my ass. Alright, so you can see my wonderful TBR shelf. I just love doing this, setting up all the books on the shelf and look at them all month long and see how they get less and less and less, and then I put them back on for another photo or something, or another video where I want more books up here. I just love this. I don't have all the books yet that I want to read. I think 1 or 2 are still missing, and my plan is crazy. As I just said, I will be traveling for 10 days, and there's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to read as much as I'm trying to. But I have different kind of reasons why they end up on my list, and I'm just gonna have to see what I'm gonna be ending up being able to complete. Next month is not the month of realistic goals, I guess. So the total, and I apologize for reading this from my screen, the total pages that I want to read next month is 7,348. Yeah, that's not going to happen because that's like 240 pages a day. But let's just see. I'll just explain to you my plans. So I usually have them grouped in like 5 different categories. One is something like group reads, and like group reads can be book box clubs, etc., or read-alongs, etc. Then buddy reads, then arcs, things that I need to review and stuff, and then my 2019 goals. I have made these prompts, so pretty much every month for me is a readathon month with prompts that I need to fulfill. And then the 5th category is other, because I have like one line to add another book that I need to read for any sort of reason. And one of the reasons that I have started doing in the middle of this year is I have on my Goodreads, I have my TBR shelves by month. And when I'm hitting the month, I started I think in June or July last year. So when I hit this month, I saw, okay, out of the 20 books that I had on my TBR last year, there were 3 that were still unread. And I said, okay, these 3 just have to be read this month. So when I had the book on my TBR last year and it's still not read, I'm gonna put it on my TBR, and that's what the other category can be for. All right, so let's start with the first one, with group reads. So I want to read along with Booksplosion. I'm going to read The Fountains of Silence. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to actually be finishing this. It will depend on how I'm going to get this book. I don't feel like buying this book new. It's just being released this month. And I don't want to spend that much money on a historical fiction book because it's usually not my type of genre. So Fountains of Silence sounds like the type of book, because it's historical fiction, that I need to be pressured into reading, and then I might like it, especially with a discussion at the end with people in a live show. So it'll depend on if I can get it on script or like any other type of form. Then we got a little lucky for the Read, Rate, Review by Book Roast, and then the Book Junkie, the Bookie. I have Book Junkie Book Club. It's the Royally Booked Book Club now, I believe. And they're both reading Serpent and Dove, and I've got this beautiful Fairy Loot edition that I'm just gonna have to share with you. Come on. These beautiful dust jacket and the golden sprayed edges. Looking forward to reading this. This is right up my alley. A Stake and a Match, A Witch and a Witch Hunter. This might be really good for me. And I'm destroying everything already. It's a good start into the month. Okay, so there's another book club that I want to do, but they hadn't released what they're going to read yet. The new release book club is going to read Daughters of Nri. Again, this will depend on how I'm going to get the book, because it sounds really exciting about... I think this was the one about like twins separate at birth, and I'm so bad at explaining books that I haven't read, or like, so I shouldn't even try. It sounds interesting, so if you're interested in having a little bit of a diverse, I believe it's fantasy, check out the new release book club. And then I want to read 1,000 Roads Home from the Once Upon a Book Club box, where I have pages that have the note with here's a little gift for you, and I have I think 3 to 4 gifts that I can open up when I hit that page, and I'm going to be vlogging that probably in London. So there it is. All right, looking forward to this one. Then I have some buddy reads, and the buddy reads this month are mostly traveling books. So like I have 3 of them, The Thief, The Queen of Atolia, and The Captive Prince. And the traveling book pretty much means that a couple of people have read this before me, and they have added their notes. I don't know if you can see this, it's too bright. But I love reading books with people this way. I don't write into my own books, but I love when I get books with different people having put their thoughts in it, and I'm just answering these thoughts. I just think it's a really nice concept. And I love reading books like this. So we have these 3 books for this. Will the art just stay in place? And then I want to read A Blade So Black, which I got in the Willoughby book club. And I don't know why I count this as a buddy read, but I apparently do. The Willoughby book club is a book club service that I'm also vlogging. And I'm getting 3 or 6 books to a certain prompt that I gave them. They picked books for me after a certain prompt, and I'm vlogging if it hits the target. So I'm really excited about that. Then for ARCs, I have from Nat Galley Ghoster and Coral. I don't even know what I'm going to tell you about these. Coral is a mermaid fantasy, and then Ghoster is a thriller. So that's all I can tell you. Then I have 2 ARCs. Königsfall, it's a Jeff Wheeler, The Queen's Poisoner, I think, in German, that I received from the publisher. And then the How and the Why that I received in the Strand book box that I'm really excited about. I really want to read ARCs before they get released, even though I didn't get them from the publisher, just because it's exciting to read them before, I guess. I don't know. Let's hit my goals. So the first prompt that I have is the oldest from my wish list, and one of the oldest from my wish list was matched. Then oldest from my TBR, and I took for this prompt, I didn't take one of the oldest from my TBR overall on Goodreads. I took what was on my TBR last year, and for this I took Grim Lovelies. And then I still have to read the Ladies' Guide to Petticoats and Piracy from last year, and this is my other. Then we have a new release, Serpent and Dove fits the new release, an old release, so one of the top 10 oldest releases on my Goodreads TBR, and The Thief counts as that. Then one of the top 10 highest rated on my Goodreads. I'm going to be reading Hidden Pearl. It's like a 100-page ebook that I found about World War II that sounded quite interesting. It's going to be a quick read, probably something like at the airport or something. And then the next prompt is the top 10 lowest rating on my Goodreads TBR. And for this I take You Must Not Miss. I'm quite sad that this is so low rated. I hope that I'm going to like it a lot better. I like the cover. I just like the color theme, I guess. It's so purpley pink. Imagine the perfect place, imagine the perfect family, imagine the perfect revenge. It sounds quite intriguing, and I think this was in the it was in the Shelf Love Reads, which I love dearly, and I'm quite sad if this doesn't turn out to be a 5-star read for me. Well, 4-star read. We're almost done. So then the next prompt for me is top 10 most reviewed on Goodreads TBR. For this also matched counts. Then a non-YA, I let Hidden Pearl count again. And then a non-fantasy, which I'm going to take a sci-fi dystopian, and I'm going to be reading Lifelike, because this is one that was on my TBR last year as well. And yeah, the next one, the last one, is to progress in a series, and for this I'm going to be reading In an Absent Dream as an audiobook. So, full reading plan, 240 pages a day. Not realistic, but I'm gonna try. I have filmed all my unboxings right now, so I don't have that in my bag right now. but with traveling half of the month. After London, I'm probably going to Paris. Well, not Paris, but like outside of Paris, for a couple of days. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but let's see where I land. So, I mean, this is something that I could do. If you're interested, I can just post my stats. I'm just not going to be able to post my complete wrap up, but I can tape when I'm in my hotel. I can tape my monthly stats and upload them if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is my TBR for this month. I think it is way too long already. And if you have been watching until now, I applaud you. Thank you for staying with me. I hope to see you again on my channel real soon. Until then.